Playas, how you doing? As promised, I'm back with more modern games or games that were recently released that have a retro feel and aesthetic to them that I think you as a retro gamer will enjoy. So I'm going to start things off with a game called Whippsy. This is a character, kind of looks like Kirby. The first stage is like very cute and reminds me a lot of Kirby actually. On the NES, the first Kirby, and I guess the Super Nintendo Kirby's too sort of look like this too. Except you're Whippsy, you whip your enemies, like your pink fluff ball that whips enemies, and then there's you can use that whipping ability to like hook yourself onto latches. For me, I couldn't get the timing of this quite right at first, but then when I went back and played this, because I played it on stream on Twitch a while back, I then was able to nail it right away when I captured the footage for this video. I had no problem doing it. So I don't know what was going on there. Let me know in the comments if you had any learning curve with this game. But the second time I played it, this game was a breeze to get through capturing this footage. Now there are only 4 stages. Actually, I guess it's more like 5 stages to this game. So it is kind of short and it's not too difficult, but it is very enjoyable. And if you're looking for that retro feel, you will enjoy this one, especially if you like some cute platforming games. There is one part of this game that I feel like they took right out of Little Nemo Dream Master from the NES, where you're on a train and the planes are falling down at you. Cyber Shadow is a brand new game. This game was just released yesterday, so hopefully I'm the first person to show this game to you if you haven't heard of it yet. I'm really excited to play more of this game. I only played a little bit, and I'll be playing more of this game live on stream Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Playas Guide on Twitch. That's right, not YouTube, Twitch, because there's a whole team of streamers throughout the week that stream retro games on Twitch on Playas Guide. Anyways, back to Cyber Shadow. This game is great. If you like ninja games, you're gonna love this game. It is a game made by Yacht Club Games, a company you may be familiar with. They came out with Shovel Knight a few years back, another game that I love. And I should probably include in one of these videos. I just assume that everybody's heard of that game and played it. But if you haven't, subscribe to the channel and look out for a follow-up, a part 3 in the future. It won't be next week. Next week's retro gaming news. So Cyber Shadow, I haven't got too far. I've only got to play a bit of this, like I said, and from what I can see, there are 3 secret areas located in each stage or chapter. They're called chapters in this game, and you want to collect all of those items. You also collect health and different power-ups to power up the different abilities you collect after beating each stage. So there seems to be a mid-boss, so a mini-boss, and then a main boss to every level. There's checkpoints throughout, and from what I can tell, the premise, the entire story hasn't unfolded yet because I just started playing it. You were destroyed some time ago and rebuilt. Something along the lines of RoboCop, it kind of seems a little bit reminiscent of that. And you're piecing together your past. All the while you're going through these stages and rescuing members of your clan that have been captive. So more will unfold. I don't want to tell you too much either about this story because this game just came out and I'm recommending it, so I don't want to put out too many spoilers there. But from what you could see here, from the bit of gameplay I was able to capture last night, it looks awesome. Odallus is a game made by the same developers as Oniken, which I talked about in last week's episode. So I'm following it up with a game by the same developers. When I saw this game, I knew I had to play it. It looks really cool, and it looks just like an NES or even a Super Nintendo game. So in this game, you play as one of 3 different heroes. At least there's 3 that I have. Maybe you can unlock more later on in the game. It's an action platformer. You could say that it's similar to Castlevania. The game will have you pushing blocks and hacking down some walls to get to hidden areas. There's lots of different secrets to discover in this game, and some different collectibles. Also some different weapons that you can use, and you have an item inventory and different relics that you'll collect throughout the game. The enemies are mostly demons and ghosts and, you know, different monsters. Some of them look really cool, especially the bosses. Not really a kid's game. It can be a little bit gruesome. Overall, because of the 8-bit, 16-bit aesthetics that this game has, obviously the visuals aren't too perturbing, but they are creepy and ominous. So if you are, you know, into that sort of thing, and medieval times, then you're really gonna like this game. It's very well done. I didn't get a chance to make it too far, put too much time into this game, but I got enough footage here to give you guys a pretty good taste of what this game is all about. Jack and Jill DX. This is a game that reminds me a bit of Game Boy. I know it's not the same color tone as Game Boy, but because it is this gray and black and white shades and there's no color in the game, that would be why. But what's really interesting about this game is that all you do is jump. So your character will automatically scroll from side to side. Now when you hit a wall, you'll bounce around and go into another direction. What you need to do is time your jumps. That's the entire game. It starts off really easy, but it gets very difficult. And the goal of each stage is your Jack trying to find your way to Jill. Now there's some different mini games and stuff here where you can unlock some different skins if you'd like. I mean, the game is straightforward and it has that retro aesthetic that I love. It's also a different style of gameplay that's challenging and quite easy to pick up and play. Hotline Miami and Hotline Miami 2. This is a 2-in-1. You can pick these games up separately. You can pick them both up together quite often on sale. This is a great game, and there's not a lot of other games like this out there. The only one that really comes to mind for me on the NES is Metal Gear. I think Metal Gear is a little bit slower pace and more difficult, in my opinion. I've been able to make it pretty far in both Hotline Miami and Hotline Miami 2. What you're seeing here is footage from Hotline Miami 2. I couldn't find my footage from Hotline Miami 1, but you'll get the idea of what the game is about. Now, Hotline Miami is going to be a violent bloodbath that is not going to be for you to play around your kids. This is definitely an adult game with adult themes. And the theme of the game is that you are a vigilante, and in the second part you team up with a gang of vigilantes, and you're going around and busting up gangsters and drug dealers and, you know, just some bad people. And you're not just busting them up, you're murdering them. You go around wearing a mask. Now, the different masks, which later become different characters in the game, equip you with different power-ups, allowing you to, you know, hit harder or move faster, different abilities that will help you in the game. And what you do is you go through different buildings and you just murder a lot of people. You take their weapons, you pick them up, you pick up a bat, you smack them in the head with it, you pick up an Uzi, you shoot everybody else in the room with it. That's the game, but you gotta do it in a very stealth way a lot of times, and there's a lot of strategy involved here because there's a lot of guys to kill. But this is a great game, and I love the soundtrack, I love the retro aesthetics, and I really like the look and what they've done with it. You guys know, if you're familiar with the channel or you've been subscribed for a while, that I am a big fan of new retro wave and just retro synth wave stuff. If you are a fan of the retro wave, then you're gonna love this game. Sonic Mania is a game that pays tribute to a lot of the older Sega Genesis Sonic games. Sonic 2 mainly is the one that it reminds me of the most. And I'm sure a lot of people who've played this game can totally relate and would agree with that. This is the Sonic game, one of the Sonic games anyways, that we've been waiting for. Now, of the modern Sonic games in not really too recently, but Sonic Generations and Sonic Colors, I did really like those Sonic games. But since them, this has been the most enjoyable Sonic game for me. And that's only because it plays, feels, and looks like an older Sega Genesis Sonic game, which if you're a Sonic fan, you've had to have played those games. And if you haven't, you need to go back and play them and this game, because it really does a really good job of capturing that, but it also modernizes the gameplay in a way that enhances your experience with this game and makes it more enjoyable, I've got to say. Well, that concludes the two-part series of modern games with retro aesthetics. I hope you enjoyed this series and gave the channel a subscription if you're a retro gamer or collector, because I do have more collecting videos coming out soon. Next week will be the retro gaming news, which will cover everything that happened in the world of retro gaming, new games coming out for older consoles, and new games on new consoles that look like these games that were covered in this video with their retro aesthetics, as well as everything that's going on in the retro video game collecting world. Playas Guide wants to be your source for retro gaming, so give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter, and be sure to check out the Playas Guide podcast and Playas Guide on Twitch, because on Twitch there's content every single day of the week. You can catch a Playas Guide stream. That's it for this episode of Playas Guide. I'll see you next week. Later, Playas.